I trusted my pastor, but the Lord told me the majority of pastors that you know are Satanist, and most of pastor in your city are of the devil. Instead of taking a step back from all the pastor, I went to my pastor and told him what the Lord said, not knowing that he was among the false servant in the city, and he called me a child. He was right. I lacked prudence and vigilance. Normally I should have taken my distance from him. I should have categorized all of them, but I behave as if my pastor was special, yet he was a high-level Satanist. False pastor makes sure to close the spiritual eyes of the members that have spiritual vision to stop them from uncovering their activity. I was hurt when I learned that my pastor was a witch. I told my husband I am sad and in tears to learn that our pastor is a Satanist. He is such a good man of a good reputation. I talked to him how the Lord wanted to use me, but I dreamed the pastor telling me they will not let God use me, they will work to foil the plan of God in my life. At that moment I thought about the word of the Lord when he said most pastors you know are in Satanism. I did not know that my pastor was included. 4 days later the Lord came to speak to me in detail about my pastor. I spent all night hearing God's audible voice when he told me, your pastor was born witch, and at the age of 6 his witchcraft was activated, and when he became a teenager he began to walk with charlatan. Young people came to him for incision on the body in order to become stronger in fight, and he was doing incision on people's body so that they will get stronger during fights in the neighborhood. It is when he was doing incision on the body of young people giving them special strength for fight, that he was stealing their star and deviating their destiny. He was stealing their chances and the years of their lives. Brother, if you had received incision on your body in order to become strong in battle, you need deliverance. And you need to take back what was stolen in your life. You need to take back your star, your chances and the years of your life. The Lord said, it is when your pastor came to Europe that he joined Rose Cross. It has been 12 years since he has become a member of this sect. Brother, God spent the whole night talking to me about my pastor. The Lord said, in that sect of Rose Cross the devil told your pastor, your mission is to open a church and when people come you will bring me information about their life. Thus my pastor brought detail of his member to his master the devil, because the enemy need information and intelligence gathering to target area of your life. I said, Lord, but my pastor has a good character. The Lord said, his master asked him to behave this way so that people will trust him and tell him the issues of their life. He was also told by the devil to pray a lot, but your pastor has sacrificed his first wife. Brethren, I was in terror when the Lord revealed this secret to me. I trusted and loved this pastor. Brethren, this encounter was not a dream. I was sitting there on the sofa and listening to the audible voice. When I wanted to go to pee, I said in myself, if I go to pee this encounter will end. The Lord read my mind and said, Adeline, stand up and go pee and come back because I am here waiting for you. When I came back, the Lord asked me, do you know why your pastor has sacrificed his first wife and devour her? I will tell you why he has slaughtered his wife in witchcraft human sacrifice. Brethren, we are all aware that Pastor Marslow's wife is dead. We don't know why she is dead abruptly. Up to now the Lord has not spoken to me about it. People complain that Christians have become suspicious whenever someone die young. Brethren, death is a serious matter, therefore it is normal for Christian to ask question. To die is different from birth. Birth is joy and death is pain and sadness. If God reveal the cause of death of Pastor Marcello's wife, we will speak out. We cannot keep silent when God speak. When people die they become popular because everybody will be talking about them and wonder why they had died. And the death of Pastor Marcello's wife is shaking the whole country even if people did not know her when she was alive. I am now in the core of our subject, which is why pastor wives die. Already my pastor has butchered his first wife in witchcraft sacrifice. I am here to warn you who are pastor wives, you must have a serious prayer life. You who have a sister that is married to a pastor, you must make sure to pray for her. The majority of evangelical leaders are in magic and occultism. They are in occult science. Even those who started well are now initiated. Just imagine, simply because I am sharing videos on YouTube they wanted to initiate me as well. Thank God I knew the true God. Everybody think that only big churches that were a problem. But in truth even pastors of little churches have become initiated in occultism. The fact that you preach the truth, they will come to tempt you to join secret order. Whenever a false prophet notices that a rising preacher is not in their camp, they will rush to lure him into occultism. Many pastors have become initiated because they have slackened in prayer. When they were not pastors they were praying a lot, but when they became pastor they developed complacency and they slacken in fasting and prayer. That's how the enemy is winning them easily. They are neglecting fasting and prayer and developing the desire of the wealth of this world. I already share how the Lord showed me Pastor Marcelo drinking human blood. The Lord said every Sunday after the service he'd drink human blood when he come back home. We still don't know if his wife's death is natural death or human sacrifice. I came here to explain to you why Pastor's wife died prematurely. The Lord told me, when your pastor arrived in Europe he loved his wife so much that he managed to get her wife to join him. The woman was innocent and did not know that his husband was in Satanism, where the devil told him to have a good character and pray a lot. When the woman noticed that his husband was praying a lot, she also followed his husband's way of life and she dedicated herself to fasting and prayer. The woman did not know that her husband prayed a lot in order to deceive people. Vigilance, as instructed by his leader the devil. At some point the prayer of the lady began to hinder the works of darkness of his husband. She became a danger for her husband. For the Lord said, when pastors' wife pray a lot they become danger for their husband who are in occultism. In this scenario Lucifer instruction is clear, either you initiate your wife in occultism or you offer her as a human sacrifice, for the woman cannot continue with these prayers. The marriage can continue only when the wife is initiated and has joined his husband in Satanism, but in case the wife refuses to be initiated, the pastor will try to offer her as a sacrifice, otherwise divorce will happen. The Lord said in coming years many pastors will divorce their wife, for many of their wife will refuse initiation. God told me all this 10 years ago. The Lord said, but in case of your pastor the devil did not want him to divorce, he wanted him to be exemplary. If he divorce he will lose his credibility and the trust of the members. That is why it was decided that the pastor wife had to die so that he will marry another woman. That will be a witch. Many pastors' wife are initiated, and those who could not be initiated are offered in sacrifice or divorced. Woman, it is imperative to walk in the fear of the Lord. You can pray a lot, but if you do not walk in the fear of the Lord the enemy will get you. Brethren, whenever you hear a pastor wife has died it's likely to be a human sacrifice. The condition of evangelical churches today is dangerous. It is better to build a prayer life at home and seek intimacy with the Holy Spirit instead of rushing to join a church. The death of Pastor Marcelo's wife is likely to be a human sacrifice, for when these pastors fail to initiate you they will kill you. The Lord told me, your pastor who was left single, went on to marry a second wife. Normally the second wife was supposed to be a witch, but something happened. Actually your pastor was sleeping with ladies members of the church. He managed to force them to keep quiet. The Lord asked me, do you know why your pastor was sleeping with the ladies of the church? He was doing it in order to steal the stars of these ladies. He was telling them, we had sex, but don't tell anyone, you will ruin my reputation. All these ladies kept their relation secret. That's how your pastor went out with many women of the church. But this lady who had become his second wife said to him, you have been sleeping with me and you promise me marriage. If you don't keep your words, everybody will hear about what you have done to me. The pastor was afraid to be exposed and he went to see his master the devil and explain everything. His master the devil say, if this is the case you must begin to live with her and promise to marry her. But you will have to offer her as a human sacrifice right before marriage. She will die right before the wedding. The Lord said, your pastor was about to kill his second wife before the wedding, but I did not let that happen. I was opposed to it because I remember the good deeds of this lady, who is my servant. The objective of your pastor was not to get married with her but to kill her before the wedding, but I remember the goodness of my servant. The Lord said she is a woman of prayer but she never asked me if it was my will to marry your pastor. She told me in prayer that she loved him and help us so that the wedding will go well, and since their union began with fornication I was never in this marriage. I let her in that marriage where she was supposed to die, but I remember that she was buying clothes for pastors and supporting them financially. She was visiting the orphan, bringing them food and clothes. She was visiting prisoners, leaving them food. I remember all these good deeds. When she came to Europe, she remembered poor pastors in Africa. She began to send them clothes and shoes and money. I remember all these good deeds and decided that she will not die, because good deeds speak before me.